I just got done watching this video, and to say the least, it was a little hilarious, just because I find it very interesting when someone wants to claim the intellectual high ground, but then resort to stereotypes to form their argument. Because that says a lot about the person, and I don't want to attack her because that's not how you do debates. Okay, you don't attack the other person, so I'm gonna attack her ideals, but the fact that you use stereotypes, especially stereotypes that come from an oppressor of the same people you're speaking about, how are you going to take their opinion on, how are you going to take the TV and the radio's opinion of black people when those same institutions are the ones that were oppressing them for 400 years? Okay? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And that says a lot about one's research into this to the whole ordeal. And one thing I want to speak about that was very interesting is when you said that Black Americans have not made anything of themselves in the past 60 years post the Civil Rights Movement. And that's not really a fair statement to make because the people you're comparing us to had 600 years, 500 year head start. Like their dad had wealth, their dad had wealth, their dad had wealth, and they passed that knowledge from generation to generation. We didn't have that opportunity, okay? We did not have that opportunity. We was going to subpar schools. We couldn't eat in the same restaurants, drink out the same water fountains. You go back even farther, we weren't even allowed to learn how to read. And then you want to compare us to other people in this country and then say, oh, you guys are not on the same playing field or you're not on the same plateau? What are you guys doing with your lives? We're trying to survive. That's what we're doing. We're trying to rebuild from scratch. Okay? We had our infrastructure. We had our own schools, our own infrastructure, our own neighborhoods. Okay? But they weren't on the same level as other people in this country, 60 years ago. Now, when we got our rights, we still had that same infrastructure. Our infrastructure was not put on the same level as other people in this country. All right? So, when we did get our rights, we still had to start from the bottom. We still started from a deficit. And it's only been 60 years. That's one generation. So to expect us to make up for 400 years in time in 60 years, that's absolutely ridiculous. And I understand there's people in this country that are not using their opportunity, but that's everybody. You can't put that on the backs of black Americans and say black Americans are messing up. If you look at this whole country, everybody is not living up to who they can be. And it's because it's everybody in this country is being oppressed, but it's a classism now. Okay, racism still exists in this country, but it's more about a classism. Okay, the same things you put on the backs of black Americans are the same thing that could be said about all Americans. Like you say, black Americans are materialistic. Americans are materialistic. That's why our savings is in a negative, but the debt is at an all-time high. It's because that's the American way. All right? So obviously black Americans, we're like a microcosm of America, which is the macrocosm. And another argument people use is black people are violent. Hello, Americans are violent. Why do you think we're in so many countries, starting with we're in South Korea, we're in Afghanistan, we're in Iraq, we're in tons of South American countries. We're in everybody's business, and we're in wars and all kinds of stuff, conflicts, because that's the American way. Okay, so people in this country, we grow up in that culture, and we emulate that culture because that is our culture. So you can't put that on the backs of black Americans, say black Americans is this, that, without looking at the whole picture. You're taking a macrocosm, but you're not looking at a microcosm, but you're not looking at the macrocosm. You're not seeing why African Americans are that way. You're just seeing that African Americans are one way, and then just saying, oh, those are horrible people. And another thing that's interesting is that you mentioned black people this, black people that. and say black people are looked upon as failures in the world. But newsflash, you're black. And you might, I know you probably would dispute it. It's cool. That's your prerogative. But look at your ancestors, the Nubians and folks of Kemet. What would they say they were? What do they say they were? Exactly. They're black. Okay. So let's not try to make that argument. Just because you have straight hair don't mean anything. Africa is the most genetically diverse continent on this planet. Black people come in many shades, many types of hair. Just because you don't look like a West African doesn't mean that you're not black. So let's not even go. Let's not that we're not gonna even go there, all right? But what I will say is this: humans are all the same. The only difference between me and, for instance, an Asian person or a black woman and Asian person is the fact that their melanocytes, the black person's melanocytes, produce more melanin. That's about the only difference. Everything else is nothing. So for you to say that it's bad for black women to want to experience Asian culture or anybody to want to experience Asian culture is stupid. Because we need to learn that about each other. Because that's how we grow as humans. We need to advance ourselves and understand that we are all the same. And this divisive rhetoric that you're spewing is not going to help anyone. Not going to help anyone. And for you to diss black women, especially when Rosa Parks, she was so instrumental in the civil rights movement. The whole reason you could come to damn America and say this crap that you're saying, and this black woman and black men, when Martin Luther King and Malcolm X spent their whole lives trying to get some damn rights in this country, for you to come here and then crap on them, crap on African American struggle, that's absolutely ridiculous. Okay? Especially as a person of color. Because you wouldn't be here. You absolutely would not be here. This country was not receptive to people of color. This country was even crapping on people that looked the same as them. It was classism the whole time. The Irish. The Irish was getting dogged out so much they started getting together with the slaves. Okay? So you obviously are not getting the whole picture. It is very obvious to me. And that's not just as race. We can look past race. You're not getting the picture as a human being. You are not understanding as a human being what it is to be human. You're trying to keep us compartmentalized. You're trying to keep us separated and segregated. Well, I have my own culture. I don't need to experience anybody else's culture. Yeah, I have collard greens. I have plantains. I have fish and coconut milk. Okay, that's my culture. But I want to try some tacos sometimes. Sometimes I want to have some chow mein. Sometimes I want to have some spaghetti. That's the human experience. That's what's good about being human. Learning from each other and making a bond and growing and advancing spiritually and mentally and all that good stuff. You're not getting the picture. You're letting your hate run your whole operation. And that's why you're spewing things that are just so absolutely wrong on a factual level and on a human level also. And I'm not judging you. You know, you have the right to say and do whatever you want to do. Okay? Absolutely. But just know what you're speaking about when you do it. Have some facts to back yourself up. Understand the cause and effect. Don't look at the how things are now, but not look at what caused them to be that way. You're not doing anybody any favors by doing that, and you're definitely not doing yourself a favor. Now, you might not like African Americans, and that's your right. By all means, that's your right. But just know what you're speaking about, and on an even bigger level, have enough intellectual integrity to judge people as individuals and not as a race. To say African Americans act this way or that way, or black women, the only thing different between a black woman, which includes you, and any other woman is, like I said, their melanocytes produce more melanin. You could just stay in the sun longer. That's it. When I was growing up as a little boy, I was riding my tricycle with white kids. I didn't even know they were white, and I didn't even know I was black. We were just having fun. I didn't know I was black until someone told me. And that's just how stupid this race stuff is. You have a good one.